Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are going to talk about Ben Burns from Ghostfire Games talking very openly and very transparently about pro dungeon mastering. So he was a professional dungeon master, and he does a fantastic job. He explained that he would charge about $120 for a 3-hour game, right? And he gave some information about that as far as and he was saying that wasn't even, the reality is people who do entertaining, that didn't even match a regular rate, right? So, but, which I thought that was fascinating, but here's the real part. He was saying, hey, is this a valuable thing? Is it valuable to professionally dungeon master, and should you do it? And my takeaway from his excellent video was, no, you should not. And the reason why he said, this was he said the reality was he really loved running Dungeons and Dragons for his friends until he became a professional dungeon master. And then he got sick of it and really didn't want to run Dungeons and Dragons for his friends at all, right? But what I really thought was really fascinating is I feel like, first of all, Ben Burns, very smart guy, and also clearly a good dungeon master because he was able to get people to pay him professionally to do it, right? So he was good at it, right? And actually he did not quit because it dried up. He quit because it changed him. But what I thought was really, really fascinating, like if you listen to that video, he's saying the quiet part loud, right? Now, first of all, what he's saying is really bizarre, right? Because this isn't said, like if you ask a professional athlete, hey, do you regret, playing baseball for money? At no point do they go, no, I don't really like playing baseball for money because it really just, really made it so that when I played with my friends, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, that's not, that you're like, wait a second, wait. Ben Burns is like, no, this really wasn't a good idea, and I quit it because it really turned my stomach, and dungeon mastering for money, I feel he was saying, dungeon mastering for money is yucky. And he even acknowledges at the beginning of the video, he's saying a lot of people just do not want this done. They're saying, hey, do not do this thing for money, right? That's fascinating, right? Like that's where it starts. So why would an extremely intelligent, extremely capable dungeon master say, don't do this for money? It's like, at the macro level, I feel that's what he's saying. He's saying, don't do this for money. It's not good, right? I think he's acknowledging that, right? And it's a complicated subject, right? So that's my take, right? You can watch the video for yourself and tell me what you think. But I think he's really saying, don't do this. And I don't even have to, I don't think he stopped. He literally, I stopped doing this. It didn't feel good, right? And so that, he's saying that flat out. This isn't like, oh, you shouldn't. He's like, I did it and I stopped because it was disgusting, right? It didn't feel right? It made me feel bad, right? So, where do we arrive when we realize Dungeons and Dragons is an activity that dungeon mastering is an activity that shouldn't be done professionally? Where does that mean we're at, right? That's fascinating. Well, here's my take, right? I think where we're arriving right now, Ben Burns got there the long way, right? And I think this all goes back to 1974, Gary Gygax. Gary Gygax puts down Dungeons and Dragons, and I think what you see, and he says, hey, everybody, take a look at this at this game, right? And now, 50 years later, people are like, wait a second. When I look at Dungeons and Dragons, I see two things. I see a world architect, a dungeon master, and I see a dungeon performer, what other people call a Dungeons and Dragons player, who is really an identity architect. And so Dungeons and Dragons really creates world architects and identity architects. And nothing else in the world does this, right? Nothing in the world creates a world architect the way Dungeons and Dragons does. It doesn't engage people with being interested in every single thing on the planet, every person they meet, and really transforming how they interact with the world the way dungeon mastering does. These are world architects. And then people are saying, wait a second, when people play Monopoly, they don't give two figs about, the thimble, right? But these people, they're shedding tears, they're weeping, they're writing fiction, they're incredibly engaged with these additional identities they're attaching to themselves. What is this, right? And that's the point. I think we've arrived at something to the point where Dungeons & Dragons is completely unparalleled, unmatched in history of human art, literature, and narrative. It is not matched. It is not equaled in anything. It's just not equaled. It's truly profound, right? That is astounding. That is truly astounding. And people are like, this is so intimate, so special, so unique to the human experience, and so new and fresh and innovative that it's disgusting to do it for money, right? It is, it's wrong. Like, people are like, this is the height of human intellect, narrative, and experience, right? Like, and communal experience, and it's gross to do this for money, right? That's astounding. That is truly incredible that we have landed in that space. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.